does it say there? I think it says like fortune teller. Yes, it does say like fortune teller. Should we go there and check? It says like coffee reading here, guys. You know, I'm Turkish and we love coffee readings. I'm gonna go and ask him if he can do coffee reading for me. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I was,
Hi.
if you don't mind, we are filming and I was wondering if you can do coffee reading for me.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Take a seat.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just make some coffee.
Okay, thank you. So,
And what are you filming for?
it's for my YouTube channel.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, guys, he's going to make coffee for me and then I will show you how it goes. Okay, guys, we sit down now. Paris is going to make us coffee. He asked me to choose a cup. I
Yep.
think I'm gonna choose the little one. I'm gonna choose this one.
Okay.
And he's going to start.
I'll
making
have a
the
coffee with you as well, okay?
Okay.
And I'll choose this one.
That's so cute.
So what we'll do is we'll make the coffee. Okay. So we've got the Jeswe.
Jezwe, yes,
Jezwe.
it's called Jezwe.
And what I do is put 2 teaspoons of the coffee. Okay, just put a little bit more because that was a bit less. Actually, a little bit more. I want it to be pretty good. All
He
right.
likes a strong coffee.
Yeah, yeah. Now what I do is we put some water in there as well. Do you like a lot of water or?
Doesn't matter. Usually when we make the coffee, we measure with the cup.
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
put.
that's a good idea. That's
Yes.
a good idea. Yeah, so normally if you're having a cup this size, you put water in this
Yes,
and
and
then
then
1 teaspoon, so then you know how much water.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what we do is we just wait for the coffee to cook.
We can even mix up a
Some
bit.
people stir it and some people don't.
For me, I stir it just a
You wanna stir
bit.
it?
Yes, why not?
I have
And
found
then I
though,
leave it.
I have found though, when I don't stir it, it has more bubbles.
Really?
Yeah. And I also found with the coffee that when you put the coffee first and the water second, it's better than putting the water first and the coffee on
Okay.
top. I don't know, it's just these little things that you learn as you do it. So
I do it like that as well. First coffee and then
yeah,
the water.
yeah, yeah. I tried it both ways. I tried putting water first, and it seems like when you put coffee first and then water on top, it's better.
Okay.
So little techniques that you learn along the way. So you're from Turkey, right?
Yes, I
And
am.
how do they read? Is it very popular in Turkey, reading coffee grounds?
Yes, very much. I think like every day
Yeah,
they
everyone.
do coffee reading because for Turkish people, they at least drink 1 cup of coffee, Turkish coffee every day. Like
Yeah,
my mom, her
Yeah.
neighbors, her friends,
Yeah.
they do it.
yeah. It's interesting. See, in Australia, we also read tea leaves as well.
Tea leaves.
Yeah, but that I think is more English. You know, because in Australia, Australia was ruled by the British, so we had a lot of more the British background, and British people tend to drink tea more than coffee. So over time, people started reading tea leaves as well.
That's interesting.
I think
I
in the
never
last
heard.
20 years, coffee has become a big thing in Australia, and around the world as well, like coffee shops and cafes. I saw on the news the other day that Melbourne in Australia has the most coffee shops per capita,
Okay.
like it's in the world.
Wow.
The most coffee shops per person in the world. That's how popular coffee is now.
Interesting.
But see, in Melbourne, there's a lot of Greek people, people that came from Europe, and so now probably their descendants are taking over the coffee, Okay, so it's getting warm, so let's just give it a quick stir again. So ideally what we want is bubbles at the top. When there's nice bubbles, it means that it's going to be delicious. And if we notice as well, it's starting to look creamy.
Yes, that's the thing.
That's
When
what
it's
we wanna
creamy,
do.
I like it.
Yeah.
So how did you get into this business, like fortune telling and stuff?
Well, originally I started with tarot card reading.
Okay.
So I was very interested in tarot cards and the symbols of the cards and what they meant. And then I studied astrology after that. So I did tarot cards for about 3 years. Then I studied astrology for 3 years. And then I studied palmistry, reading the hands.
Ah, you can read my palm as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then along the way I learned to read coffee and tea and other things like numerology, numbers. Okay, I think it's starting to look good now. So what we'll do is we'll pour. So what I normally do now is I pour half or a bit gently, and then I pour in the second cup. Okay, and then I pour again. Pour again. Until it's finished.
We usually do it half.
Yeah,
Like I start half,
yeah.
and then the rest we just pour it. But like this, it looks good.
Yeah, so I'm learning from a real Turkish person here, see? So I'm learning as well. I learned the Australian way, which is probably not the right way.
I guess everyone does it with their own way.
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting because you learn techniques about how to make the coffee better as well, different techniques. Okay, so that's pretty good. All right. I want to actually get as much of the, I know for reading coffee, I want the grounds because it's, the more you put in, probably if I was just making it just to drink, I wouldn't have put the last bit in. But because we're doing it to read, I actually want the grounds in it. So what we do now is we just let it cool a little bit, let the grounds fall to the bottom, and then you can start to drink.
Okay.
When I make the coffee, I also look at the top. So if you can see here, there's sometimes pictures appear in the top of the coffee too. Okay. And in my one's more like a spiral. It's kind of like this. Mine looks more like a spiral, you know. So when you're doing a reading for someone, you can look at those things as well.
But this is real coffee.
That's quite nice.
So when I turn this around,
Yeah.
do I need to wish something?
Yeah. You can make a wish, especially at the end as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do I need to tell you I want to know about love or career or whatever?
No, coffee could be anything. And
Okay.
but then when you make a wish, you don't have to tell me what your wish is.
Okay.
You can keep that to yourself. But the coffee will tell you about everything. It'll tell you about love, family, just whatever. You
Okay,
know.
it's like general reading.
Yeah, yeah.
So that might be the difference between the cards as well. Because when you look at the cards, you need to tell, like, I want to know about this, like certain
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah.
the energy focuses on that subject, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And even astrology too. When you do astrology, you're going to look at the different houses. I can show you the board. Like in an astrology chart, each position is called a house, and each one has a different subject. So for example, Taurus is to do with money. So when I'm doing an astrology reading, in this position, whatever planet they have in Taurus will tell me about their money. Whereas Leo could be about children, and it could be about fun. Libra could be about law. It could be about anything to do with contracts, relationships. So astrology is very specific, whereas coffee reading is more, it tells you about
General.
whatever it wants to tell you. Yeah, it's more free.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
And I wanted to ask you for coffee since I'm Turkish. I wanted to know. It's like
Yeah.
you're on your hometown, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Fortune telling is very interesting. Like when I first got into this subject, I was about 18 years old, And my two best friends told me one day, we were in a park, it was a sunny day, I think it was a Saturday, and we were out taking photos because I'm also a photographer.
Wow.
And my best friend, she said to me, we're going to go to a fortune teller in the afternoon. And I said, oh, don't go to those things. They're evil, they're bad. You're going to go to hell. But my friend was a Buddhist, so she didn't understand the Catholic background that I had. So she couldn't understand why I would say that, because in their religion, in Buddhism, the fortune telling is not evil. They see it as like guidance from the monk. They even have monks that do fortune telling and astrology.
Okay.
So for her, it was very strange that I said that. And she said, no, it's not evil. It's just like giving you advice. So I said, can I come? Can I come along? And we went to this lady, and the lady was from Yugoslavia. And I was scared of her. I was only 18 years old. I was scared of her. And, you know, she looked like a witch. And I just said, you know, my two friends had a reading, and I just listened. Okay. And I thought to myself, some of the things she's saying is really accurate, you know, because she told my friends things about their lives that I knew, but she didn't know. Mm-hmm. And then after we went home, I actually rang that lady up about 2 weeks later, and I booked myself in to have a reading with her. Myself, I had like the courage then to do it. And then after the reading, when she did my reading, she said to me, because I wanted to know about my career, and she said, you haven't found your career yet. Mm-hmm. She said, you're going to find it soon, but you haven't found it yet. And I was very disappointed, because I wanted to be a photographer, a professional photographer. She said, you will do photography, but that's not going to be your career. And I said, well, what is going to be my career then? Because then I got upset, I got a bit defensive. She said, you haven't found it yet, but you will soon. And that was it. And then you know, the reading was finished, I went home, and I was really upset, because I was like, what do you mean? So what happened was, I was thinking about it, and I thought, I want to know what she saw. So I rang her back 2 weeks later, and I said, do you teach tarot cards?
Okay.
And she said to me, I think you just found it. And I was like, what is she talking about? But that's how it all began. And then I went and studied tarot. Okay. And then I started to become a professional myself after a few years.
That's a very good story.
Yeah, we're ready to now tip the coffee ground. So the way, look, different people do it different ways, but the way that I do it is you hold the handle in your right hand. Are you right-handed?
Yes.
Yeah. And what you do is you tip it backwards without dropping it, tip it forward, and you do that 3 times. So it's the past, the future, the past, the future, past, and future. So 3 times, and then you swirl it around a little bit like this. Again, try not to drop it, just to make the coffee nice and muddy, okay? And then what you do is you tip it in the plate, and you tip it away from you. Okay, you can do it like this.
So not the plate.
No, you don't have to do it that way, because I've noticed a lot of people have accidents when we do it that way. So you just tip it in, and you can leave it like that, and just let it sit for a minute. Usually when it's hot, you can feel it from the cup, and then just let it cool a little bit.
Yes, usually what we do is if we have rings,
yeah,
we place the ring there so it takes the heat.
Yeah, yeah. And some people put coins on there too.
Yes,
you
or
can
coins,
put a coin,
like anything metal.
Yeah, yeah, to cool it down, yeah. Now the first thing I start to do is, if I have a client, I start to look at what's on the outside of the cup. So if you can notice here, okay, this is on the outside is people coming to visit you, because the outside is the outside of your life, okay? Now, if we notice already, I can see a little person here. Okay?
That's me. I'm a little person.
Yeah, you're a little person, but I think this could be someone that comes to visit you, okay? And this is their head, and just below they've got something in their feet. It could be a gift, something that they will bring to you, okay? It looks like some sort of papers or some sort of something flat, Could be like a CD or papers or some creative or some art thing, because it looks like a flat gift. It's not a square or it's not a circle, it's a flat thing. Okay, then what I do is I start looking at what's inside. Okay, so when I'm looking at a client's coffee, I start to look at where everything is. Okay, if you can see. Okay, and then I start to look at, okay, so I just start looking around. Now, to me, the bottom of the cup is now. And as we go up, it's the future. So the top is the future. Now, what I also do is I start looking on the outside again. Okay, now this one is a big line. This one shows a trip or a travel that you're going to do. So it shows you're going to have a visitor on this side, but on this side it shows you are also going to go abroad. Now the line, the coffee mark, is very light. It's not dark. Light means fun and light. It's going to be a fun, light, happy journey. And it also looks quite a long journey as well.
Okay.
So maybe you'll go to Australia.
Why not?
You might visit me there.
Actually, I'm going to Turkey.
Oh,
Maybe
right,
that's the
okay.
thing.
Okay, that could be what it is too.
Yes.
Okay. And you start to see, I see a woman in your, up here that you're going to visit.
My mom, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like, she looks like a very attractive woman, actually.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like an attractive woman. You can see it's like, can you see
okay.
it?
I
Her
do
head,
see
her
it.
breasts.
Yes. Wow.
Okay.
Interesting.
Can you see that? You have to think a little bit abstract as well, but I can see a woman's body there. First thing I notice up here is the letter, there's a letter V, or it could be a K. Okay, but this is in the future, so it could be that you meet somebody with the letter V or K in their name. Okay. So it could be like Victor or Victoria, or it could be something with a K. Okay, I'm just noticing that up the top. That's the first thing. Normally I start at the bottom, but sometimes when you see things, you just say
Very
them as well.
visible.
Now the other thing I see is a big eye. I don't know if you're going to be able to pick this up, but can you see an eye in there, in the coffee?
No.
I can see it.
I see F or G.
Yeah.
I am not good at this.
Just here, I can see an eye. Let me just see, where did it go? Oh yeah, there it is there. There's an eye. It looks like it's got makeup on. Okay. There's a horseshoe, which is luck. And you also have many lines. These lines represent trips or traveling. Okay. So also the dark bits of coffee, usually dark means worry or stress or anxiety, but when you have lines, it means you're going to get through.
You just described me.
Yeah. Also at the bottom, you have, if we look at it at the bottom, there's a bit of the dark coffee there. It's not very dark, but there's the darker side, and at the top it's a little bit lighter. That's good, because it means you're going to get above any of the major worries or fears that you might have or doubts, okay? Because the dark usually means worry, anxiety, but the light means you're removing that, you're getting out of that, okay? There's also the letter C. C in here, C for cat.
Okay, I saw that one.
Yeah, you saw the C, yeah. Yeah, so you know, obviously if I have more time, I could see more things in there. The plate usually tells us about people around you. So the cup is yourself, but the plate is family or friends or people around you. So what I do is I let it drip. Again, normally when I have a client, I will let it drip for a minute or two, okay? Just let it drip, and then I turn it, and then I read this as well. But this is about other people. So especially if you see symbols, it'll tell you about people around you, how they feel about you. Could be work, could be family. Here a cat, and then I see a mouse here as well. Now, what that could also mean is it could mean that you're in a cat and mouse chase with somebody. That could mean that you like somebody but they're running, or they like you and you're running. Okay?
That's my life story, I
Okay,
guess.
right. Because I'm seeing this cat hunting, but I'm seeing a mouse here running away. So it's a cat and mouse chase. Okay.
Okay.
So if I was reading for you, I would say there may be someone that you're interested in, but they're not ready to settle down, or they're interested in you, and it could be the same. Okay. I also am seeing the letter U again. I saw that in your cup, or it could be a horseshoe, which is luck.
Okay.
So this is around someone else. So you had luck in your cup, but you also have someone around you that they've also going to have some luck as well. So it's probably this person that you're having a cat and mouse chase with. Is there someone in your life right now that's a little bit like that for you? That you're kind of interested, but they're not sure, and then they might be interested, and then you're not sure? Is there something like that?
Could be. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll talk more about it when the camera's off.
Yes.
So normally what I do is you start to see more images.
Okay, guys, so that was my coffee reading. Thanks a lot, Paris. That was
Thank
really
you.
nice.
My pleasure.